Zed has a 40% ban rate in low ELO, and is regarded to as a champion that has a really safe laning phase compared to other assassins, so you can't punish him. There are plenty of other excuses players have to try to justify that Zed is OP, but none of them really make sense. I'm only using Zed here because he has the highest ban rate in the game for mid lane in low MMR, but the main point is, if you just learn the game, you would never need to ban Zed. You guys just don't have the fundamentals of the game down, so fail to abuse his laning phase that isn't much safer than any other assassins. To show you what I mean, I'm going to break down a few different low elo replays of a mage versus Zed, to show you that they don't have to do anything specific to the Zed matchup, and just need fundamentals that would apply to any melee champion. For this first one, we have Xerath vs Zed in Silver 1. The things I see in this gameplay hurt my soul, but for you guys, I will bear through the pain and break it down. The first issue before lane even starts is that the Xerath took Ignite. Ignite is just not it. You should never be in range to use Ignite on anyone, and TP or Barrier will always be more useful on Xerath. Ignite is basically trolling. Now as laning starts, Xerath is a few seconds late to lane, and the only reason I'm showing you this is this seems to be a reoccurring theme in gold and silver. Just being a few seconds late to lane is a big problem, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But Xerath walks into lane and throws Q, aiming for either Zed or the minion, but he hits both, which is the best possible scenario. Then Zed uses Q and Xerath goes to grab a last hit with an auto, but it just barely doesn't get it, but then he uses another auto to get it, which is fine, and this is where things get crazy. Remember, Zed just used Q, so from this point, Zed should be sitting back, waiting for his Q to come up again. Because if he walks up to the wave, Xerath can just auto him over and over for free. But it's like the roles get reversed. Xerath is so scared, he walks away from the wave and Zed walks forward. Zed is literally no threat to anyone level 1, he has no way of getting on you. And it's not just Zed, it's any melee champion in this scenario. They should all be sitting back respecting Xerath's autos, except for Irelia. If you're thinking, well, what about minion aggro? Well, those minions won't aggro the Xerath at that range. Xerath would have to be standing in front of his own drain minions for that to happen. So now, we're sitting here watching a Xerath get zoned off the wave by a Zed at level 1. I have no words. This is why y'all struggle with Zed. You think he's Thanos or something. Zed is even playing like he's a god that can't be touched, and it's just crazy to watch. Xerath can just permanently auto him, and his Q is up, so he could walk up close and just tap Q, which makes it very hard to dodge. Xerath finally decided to use his Q here though, and just throws it at the wave, which is another mistake. Xerath should be focusing every ability on Zed right now, as Zed isn't a real champion until level 3, so you want as big of a lead as possible before then. Then he walks up and grabs 2 last hits before running back behind his minions in fear. Now, notice how Zed hits level 2 first? This is another big problem and should never happen, and this is also why showing up to lane a few seconds late is a problem. What should happen is, Xerath slowly pushes 3 waves in and they will all stack up to create a big wave. Xerath will hit level 2 and level 3 first, then harass Zed whenever he goes for last hit, especially after crashing the big wave on the tower. This would be the case for any ranged champion versus any melee champion except Irelia. Like I said, since she's stupid, it can kill you at level 1. But, SkillCapped, what if Zed just spams Q on the wave? Well, that wouldn't do anything, especially because if he's doing that, he would have to walk up and auto attack minions to grab them, and if he's walking up to auto attack to get CS, he should be taking poke for it every time, and would lose so much health he wouldn't be able to walk up to the wave anymore. Anyways, getting back to the gameplay, Xerath goes to use Q to grab a last hit, and maybe hit Zed, but he misses both. Then Zed walks up and uses W with 2 Qs, and also misses both. Now, with Zed's W and Q down, Xerath should pelt him with autos and abilities the entire time, as Zed is once again no threat until level 3. Xerath lands W but misses Q, which is fine, although landing W makes missing Q impossible if you just put your mouse on them. Either way, missing skill shots is fine if they are being used at the right time. But after this, Xerath goes back to letting Zed do whatever he wants, even when Zed's Q is down. Xerath should just be hitting him with autos constantly whenever he walks up for CS, Zed can't do anything about it. Then, Xerath tries to hit Zed with Q, but this one isn't being used at the right time. You want to throw skill shots when enemy laners going for last hits, not just randomly. And on top of this, when they are close like this, you want to just tap Xerath Q, not charge it up so it's easy to dodge. For these next few seconds, Xerath doesn't auto attack Zed, and this time, that's the right decision because he can't. If he autos Zed here, Zed is a very big wave that will win the trade for him if Xerath autos from this range. And this is Xerath paying the price for playing the lane wrong at level 1. Since the lane is pushing to Xerath, he will always be at a minion disadvantage, so he can only auto Zed when Zed walks up too far, or in the scenarios we talked about earlier. But if he plays the lane right and is pushing to Zed, he can auto Zed whenever he goes for minions and wouldn't have to worry about the enemy wave since Xerath will be clearing it way before Zed. Alright, and right after this, Zed walks up and uses W and Q again, and he lands both. This is a Zed specific tip, but do you see how little damage those Qs did even though both landed? That's because Zed's Q does way less damage if they hit a minion first. So even if you have really poor movement, if you put minions between you and Zed and his W, you negate a lot of the damage. With that being said, Xerath could have been chunked really hard here if the Zed was playing properly. Zed could just throw W right next to Xerath, throw both Qs, swap, and auto once for electrocute, but no Zed player plays properly in low elo, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, Xerath hits Zed with a W and misses Q again, then tries to auto Zed, but he has to back off since he'll aggro the entire minion wave. After collecting some last hits, Xerath goes for a Q on Zed but misses, and he even was going for it at the right time, as Zed was trying to grab the cannon, so it's not a big deal that he missed. Then as Zed walks up and uses Q, Xerath punishes the disrespect with his E and W, but doesn't auto attack him at all. He should have auto attacked just once before backing off, but either way, he at least punished the disrespect from Zed there. Now Zed is out of potions, and Xerath is going to hit him with a W and Q finally, so things are starting to look a bit better. Are they though? Here's the problem. Zed could just recall here right now, and he would lose maximum 4 CS, and that's only if Xerath clears this wave very fast, but he doesn't have the mana to do so. So Zed could recall and come back to lane, and when he gets back, the wave will be slowly pushing to him. This is because of the even minion rule. Right now, the blue melee minions will die to the tower, and it will result in 3 red and 3 blue minions. Because the next red wave will get here before the blue, it will start slow pushing towards Zed. Xerath won't be able to crash the wave on Zed's tower before he gets back, so the wave will be frozen in front of Zed's tower, which will put Xerath in a really bad spot with low mana. So, you would think things are going good for Xerath, but this is what happens when you don't control the wave right from the start. Xerath is in a terrible spot right now, but let's see if Zed punishes this. Well, of course not. It's low elo. Nobody knows what they're doing. So Zed tries to cosplay Faker and just embarrasses himself, while I guess Ignite is actually OP on Xerath. Alright, let's move on to the next game where we have Orianna vs Zed in gold. Just like the last replay, this Orianna is a few seconds late to lane, and we talked about why that's a big deal. Orianna might not hit level 2 first because of this, but at least the first thing Ori does when she gets into lane is throw Q at Zed when he might be going for this last hit. This is good. Now she should be constantly auto-attacking the wave, but this one auto she throws at Zed is fine. She starts auto-attacking, and Zed uses his Q to grab a last hit. This is looking a lot better so far. After Zed uses Q, Ori stops auto-attacking the wave for some reason, and is pushing to her. This is her chance to get the push advantage and start slow pushing since Zed can't walk up and auto minions. This is what I was talking about in the last replay. And she's going to pay the price here when she tries to harass Zed when he goes for these last hits. His 3 range minions are going to prevent her from auto attacking him any more than this, and that shouldn't be happening. Ori hits Zed with a Q and auto though, which is good. So far, the Ori is doing a lot better of a job than Xerath when it comes to poking the Zed and abusing his weak levels 1 and 2, but she's not controlling the wave properly, which is going to hurt her in the end. Zed hits level 2, which is expected, and he could have done that even earlier. Remember, with both of these replays, the Zed isn't doing anything properly either. We're just not focused on him because the champion doesn't matter here. All of this is just fundamentals to playing range vs melee regardless of who it is. Anyways, Ori is going to sit back and hit level 2, while Zed grabs the last hit with his Q. Now when people say Zed is very safe in lane, it's because they don't punish him when his WQ are on cooldown. Here, Zed just used Q, so any minions that get low in the next 6 seconds, Ori can punish him if he goes for them. But notice, Zed just didn't go for it and has to give it up. That's the price he has to pay for his Q being down, so he's not actually that safe. And this only gets worse as lane progresses because Ori will get a very short cooldown on her Q and can punish Zed even when he goes to throw Q at a CS. But we'll get more into that in a bit. Now Zed is going to end up throwing Q at another last hit, and Ori doesn't look to walk up and throw Q at him to poke or proc mana flow, which is a mistake on her part. She's an entire 6 seconds to look for some poke. Then for this next one, Ori isn't even in range to try and hit Zed with Q because her positioning is so poor. She's way too far back. Ori Q doesn't pull minion aggro since it's not a targeted ability, so she can stand further up where she's out of Zed Q range and still in range to hit him with her own Q. And remember, her only option is to hit him with Q because she can't auto him when he has such a big wave, which shouldn't be happening in the first place. Or he should be slow pushing to Zed. Zed actually doesn't have to be playing so scared right now since he has a fairly big wave, but it's low elo. It looks like Ori had the right idea here when Zed Q was down, but she missed and that's fine. It's hard to hit Ori Q when you aren't in position to move it right away though. If you have to walk up to get in range, they can easily back away. Now Ori is going to try and hit Zed with W, but he wasn't close enough to the ball and Zed walks up to use Q on Ori. Ori should just use E here, which will bring the ball back to her and damage Zed in the process, while also shielding the damage from Zed's Q. Then Ori can auto Zed a few times to finish out the trade, but she doesn't use it and just gets nothing here. She gets a little poke on Zed when he goes for this last hit though, which is good. But again, look at the wave. Zed has the minion advantage, so Ori constantly has to back off and respect them. The wave control is really messing up her lane at this point. Also, Zed hit level 3 now, so the lane really starts. At this point, Ori should have a big CS lead or a health lead. Zed should be down to at most 1 potion or be out of them entirely if he's being greedy for CS. But this Zed is full potions, and that's all because Ori didn't play the lane properly, and now it's Zed's turn to actually be able to trade. The first thing he does is throw WQ at Ori, and since both of these Qs didn't hit any minions first, you can see a big difference in damage compared to when the Qs hit Xerath earlier. Not only was this poor movement from Ori, making the Qs easy to hit, but Ori didn't even use E to shield any of the damage, and missed W in the process once again. Ori W costs 70 mana with only 1 point in it, so now she's wasted 140 mana on missed Ws. Zed W is a 20-second cooldown though, so Ori has 20 seconds to heal up and poke Zed when he goes for last hits. She hits him with a Q here, but for some reason, this time she doesn't use W. Very weird, but at least she's playing around Zed's W being down. But as Zed's W comes up, she walks straight at him with no minions, and he lands both Qs again. Zed could swap in and do even more damage, but it's low elo, so he doesn't. Also, you have to realize that any melee champion would punish Ori here, not just Zed. She's way too far up. She's past her minions, and it's been 20 whole seconds, so she should know Zed's W is up. On top of all this, both players are not using their potions right now, which is crazy, considering Ori is in kill range, and Zed is half health with 3 whole potions. Anyways, Ori throws another Q and W and misses W once again, then starts heading towards the fight happening in Top River. I can already tell you this would never work because she didn't have potions running the entire time. If she used her potions earlier and had at least 80% health, she could go to this fight and it wouldn't be risky, since Zed wouldn't be able to one-shot her and she would be 1 level up on him. So if he went in, she could just kite him out and kill him. But since she just popped her potion, she's still low enough to die. So if Zed moves over as well, she won't be able to just walk past him. Let's see what happens though. Ori drops Ward in the brush so she sees Zed coming, but just doesn't respect him. She misses her Q, and naturally he jumps in with W, E, and Q and ignites really late. If he ignited at the start, she would be dead. Either way, Zed misses his flash Q, which should have been the other way around anyways. Should have been Q then flash to buffer the cast time. But now Ori is obviously screwed because the wave is pushing to Zed, and he can just freeze it on her while she has no summoners or health, and her lane would be completely lost from this. She would be an entire level behind, and this is all when Ori should be winning the lane. But because she played the entire lane wrong from level 1, she lost early game to Zed. And like I said before, it doesn't even matter who the melee champion is here. Any other one could do the exact same things and punish Ori the exact same way, if not more, since they wouldn't require skill shots like Fizz or Qiyana. Alright guys, so as you can see, none of the mistakes made here were specific to the matchup, as in, it wasn't things you need to do to specifically counter Zed. It was just fundamentals to playing range versus melee.
Now, what you find here on YouTube is just the tip of the iceberg. If you want to unlock your true potential, then you need to dive into SkillCapped.com. We have the largest catalog of League of Legends guides in the entire world, with over 1,500 guides and 350 unique courses. You get brand new guides every week exclusive to our website, along with our Smurf commentaries where our challenger experts walk you through how to carry out of the exact rank you're stuck in. Still unsure? Well, you can have all your questions answered by those same challenger experts. Need one-on-one coaching? We got you covered with hand-picked coaches trained to the highest standard. Don't have time for that? Use Direct Pro, pick a past game you played, and within 24 hours get a personalized video from a top 100 challenger player breaking down exactly what you can do better. The best part, all of this comes with a rank improvement guarantee. If you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using SkillCapped, you can claim a refund, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Head to SkillCapped.com and get the rank you've always wanted. Link in the description below.
But that's going to bring us to the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.